So the estimation of the progression speed of the getting the special units is about 2 months for a normal SP units, and more than 1 year for the epic SP units. We want to set the battle machine as kind of the ultimate pursuit of the game.
Hello, everyone. Long time no see. It's been a while. Update 8 has been released, and we are kicking things off very quickly with the quick balance changes and a bunch of fixes, and there's a bunch of other stuff coming in. But with me is the man that has all the answers. What's your name?
I'm Shuai. Hello, everyone.
Shuai, in charge of meta, progression, a bunch of stuff in the game. So a lot of things to talk about. You have Donghang, who you know and love for a while now, and you have this guy.
Hello, I'm Fan.
He's Fan.
Hi, Fan.
And we have our hosts.
What's up, everyone? FullFrontage.
Hey, what's up? It's pronounced Abdod. Don't get it wrong.
I'm Draco. I'm not a host. I'm just here.
Me too. I'm just here. I'm not going to be talking too much, so I will let the experts do the talking, okay? So you guys take us away, and let's start discussing Update 8.
Sweet. All right. Well, to kick things off, while people are still trickling in, first thing I want to say is I want to talk about the positives of the update, at least from my opinion, and I think a lot of people agree. The gameplay part of the update was absolutely nailed. This is the most fun I've had playing Clash Mini since No Movement, and then No Movement was since I first downloaded the game. The classes, the upgrading heroes, the feel of the gameplay, it feels really, really good. So absolutely crushed the gameplay part of the update. And the idea behind the progression system to get people to consistently come back to the game, check in. I'm sure the data shows retention has gone up, especially with people coming in to claim their piggy banks and check their quests and check their challenges and everything like that. So those two parts crushed. The art with the new minis, I know that's been a hot topic for some people. I personally love it. I will die on this hill. Giant Skeleton looks incredible. I love how derpy he is. It's great. And then the boards and the music of the boards, absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to unlock another like 20 boards and just continuously switch between them. So those are like the awesome, like you guys crushed that part of the update. Absolutely phenomenal. So hats off to the team on that side too, for sure.
That is some hot takes about remodels.
What's up?
That is some hot takes about remodels. I'm not sure you will agree with, but the boards though, I do really love the boards. I'm very excited to unlock the stadium. I'm 5 skins away.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's hop into the meat of it, and we'll start off with the hot question. And a simple question, maybe a more complex answer. Why the gatcha system?
It's me. Okay.
The toy machine.
Yeah. Toy machine. Okay, just like from FullFrontage just mentioned, the progression speed in the previous update, I mean, before update 8, is really fast. So every player max out everything of the game very quickly, and they don't have any long-term goals. So that's why a lot of players leave the game, and that's the biggest problem we have to solve in the update 8. And since we have totally removed our all of the power progressions, so the only thing we can set for a long-term target is just the unit collection. So that's why we create the concept of special units. I mean the normal special units and the epic special units, which is the battle machine. So the estimation of the progression speed of the getting the special units is about 2 months for a normal SP unit, and more than 1 year for the epic SP units. We want to set the battle machine as kind of the ultimate pursuit of the game. So it's really long. The estimation is more than 1 year. So the long term, the time period is too long. So we think it's not tolerable for players to get those units by a fixed cost. Imagine you have to accumulate some currencies and wait for 2 months or more than 1 year to get the unit. It's not tolerable. So it is quite negative experience. So we want to build some luck system, a new system with some luck and randomness that you may possibly get it quicker. So that's why the toy machine. We want to yield the special units through some system with some luck. But we are also receiving lots of feedbacks about the negative feeling of the randomness and luck. That's what we are now working on to optimize the experience of the toy machine system. So that's why the toy machine.
Yeah, I would just want to add one more thing, that having a perception that I have something I need, I want, but I need to spend a lot of time to get that is really important for players to stay in the game. Because the worst feeling is that, oh, I'm done with the game. I have nothing to think or to pursue, and that feeling will stop players coming back to the game, logging next day. So having something I feel, oh, I want that. It's very long, but I think I can get it. So that feeling is what we need. That's the key to following day retention and long-term retention. So so that's why we need to let players see, hey, there are things I need to spend time to get. So that's why we have the SP unit system designed.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think it makes a lot of sense in terms of like the progression side of it.
So, Shuai, you mentioned the battle machine is set to be at 1 year, about like more than 1 year. But according to the keys that we get right now from the battle pass, it's about 5.8 years. But I have seen that we got more epic keys from the Clashmas event and some other places. So I'm gonna ask kind of directly, how many epic keys every month are you looking to give to the free-to-play players?
So our original plan is not giving all the free epic keys by some fixed speed. I mean, like 5 per month or 2 per month. So we want to yield lots of epic keys in different ways, like the Clashmas challenge. Also, the new event which is coming. I won't talk too much about it. So that's the plan. We will give more keys by more flexible ways, and we are also listening for lots of feedbacks from the community, and we are still trying to figure out the best speed to give those keys.
Yeah.
So
Please finish.
yeah. So I can't. We won't give a fixed number, but we are trying to improve the speed of get it.
Yeah. For us, it is very important because we are game designers. For us, we need to think not only like a player, like how much I get. We also need to have control over players' experience, because before we launch the game, we don't know if the experience is good or bad, right? But we need to have the ability to tune things. If it's bad, we can fix it, right? So that's why like the base ones are 2 on the free track.
Yeah.
But if it's too slow, we can find other ways to add. But if the system is giving too much and the long-term goal is not going there, where it's breaking, then we have no way to fix it. So I think for designers, when we think about what do we do in the game, like having tools to control, having tools to save, or to make the experience like when things happen, we have weapons to deal with it, is very important for us. That's why we set the base like this. But when we can do other things to give more, if we find that players need more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I mean, there's discussion in the chat that I wanted to talk about a little bit, and some people are saying like, oh, a year is too long for battle machine. But I think what some people are forgetting is a lot of the people in this chat have probably had the game for some time and probably have all of their 11 heroes unlocked. So I think a year is actually fair for a hero in terms of a progression, because the other thing too is all the other 11 heroes are from the collector level. So people can just get them in the collector level. And one of the other topics that was brought up from the community side was that they were saying that power progression was getting removed and the game was going completely to free to play, and that was the perception of it. And I think a lot of people see that the unlocking the special units behind the toy machine is like it puts a pay to win perspective to the game for the community. I disagree with it. I think it's more pay to progress than pay to win. But in terms of the system in unlocking the special units, you said it would take on average like about 45 days to 2 months to unlock a special unit, and then about a year for the battle machine. Would there be any consideration to have units be unlocked for a set price from the machine in terms of keys? So players could just, instead of rolling the keys, they could just spend, say, 60 gold keys to just immediately unlock one of the new special units as a mini.
I think all of the normal units, I mean, besides all of the special units, they are the most basic way to collect units. So, in my opinion, if we set a price for any SP units in the toy machine, it will be quite similar or the same compared to the basic normal units. If the basic normal units are more certain and fast to get, so we don't need to create another way to get certain and fast units. So that's my rough thought on it.
And also, I would like to say that some people may say that battle machine is pay to win, but actually from the data, we can see that battle machine is not a pay to win. Because why we want to make the battle machine become the goal for a year, this is the reason battle machine have a very unique mechanics, and some player, not the core player, don't know how to play this unit at all. So I think the core player or have a lot of experience how to play Clash Mini can handle these minis very well. As we can see that battle machines don't have a very good win rate in the trophies below 2000, which means that the player don't know how to play battle machines well. But if the player beyond the 3000 trophy, battle machine have a decent win rate. So which means that the special unit have some special mechanics which new player cannot handle these mechanics very well. So we tend to make this unit become a motivation for the player to go play and want to the player enjoy the mechanics in the future, not in the right now, because right now they don't know how to play this unit very well.
Also back to the question, I think people are proposing that we can add another option in the toy machine that you can buy special units by a fixed cost. I think they proposed this plan because they have the negative feelings of the randomness. I think that's the problem that we need to listen to and try to avoid. So that's the way we solve the problem, not by give another option.
Mm-hmm.
But also something to remember, sorry, Vlad, off screen here. Something to remember is that like people focus way too much on only SP units. Like our game would be consistently live for a foreseeable future, and there is always going to be new minis and new heroes that would come out that would not be SP specifically. And then all that you need to do in the game is pretty much just go ahead and level up your collector level and get the unit that way. And I don't think kind of laser focusing on just SP is a healthy mindset to have, and just like chase that. And yes, I mean, to be honest, you can treat it as like as something that you will eventually get. And also, again, keep in mind that the SP units are also something aspirational for the new players as well. So when the new player comes into the game and they see, ooh, what is this special unit? How do I get it? They have a chance to get it, or they have a chance to just eventually get it and just to keep unlocking the regular units at a regular pace. And the people that we are addressing right now in the audience, majority of them basically had 100% of the content unlocked in Update 7. And that is a major difference between that audience and the audience that we are trying to improve experience for and optimize the game slightly more for in Update 8. So just a little perspective on that front.
Yeah. Looking from the new player's experience, we have 60 units in total, and only 7 of them are special units, so a small part, and only 1 of them is battle machine. So we will continue to control it at such a small ratio.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing too. Is a lot of people, like when the update dropped, majority of the players were maxed out, and like seeing it from that free to play perspective and like creating a new account and going through the new player process, it feels really good, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So if you're watching and you haven't tried a free to play account, try it, and then you'll see how the game is supposed to function and everything properly. So I definitely agree. And I think the community was a little bit spoiled from, no offense guys, from the past updates when it was so quick and easy to unlock everything. And like you said, that was a huge problem with progression, and it was seeable in YouTube numbers as well. As once people unlock something, then they'd stick around for about 2 weeks and then go away until something new came out.
On the topic of free to play and pay to win and stuff like that, what's the reasoning behind locking some of the hero abilities behind some very high collector levels? Like, for example, the Pink Fury's 2nd and 3rd ability. I don't even think I have access to those.
Yes. So this decision was made almost like the last week before we launch. So for the entirety of the Update 8 development, all the abilities were available for players. So when we were doing playtests, everything's available. In the end, we decided to do that. It is because we are thinking from the new player experience. For our new players, but the day one, Barbarian King, a base ability, then plus 3 different abilities, and also like they need day one they also unlock Archer Queen. Imagine a new player dropping the game, learning 6 minutes, so many different abilities, and this hero has totally different play style, right? Because when we think about the hero upgrades, previously they all help together make this hero become strong in one direction. For example, Barbarian King is like making the team stronger, right? That's all his identity. But when we change it from like a default having everything to making a choice, those choice needs to make him different. That fundamentally changed the design of it, because think about it, right? Previously you don't have to make a choice, so it's always the same Barbarian King. So you learn from playing them. But now we have 3 different Barbarian King based on the 3 choices. And the new players needs to learn the different way to use them, pick team count. For example, you choose Barbarian skill upgrade 3, he becomes the carry. The teammates doesn't matter, and that's totally different hero. Then players need to learn that hero. So imagine how much load there. So on almost the last week, we were like, hey, maybe we should give them one by one, so players can learn the first basic version of Barbarian King. Then later on, when they get more familiar, they're a little bit bored with the base version of Barbarian King, they can choose the second version with the upgrading to the promotion 2. And then later on, they once they are a little bit bored with this and they are more mature with how to play the game, they can learn and try to use the 3rd version of the Barbarian King with choosing the upgrade 3. So it's more about making players experience smooth and give long-term, gameplay, different gameplay experience, rather than locking it behind. And if we really want to lock it behind, there are way better ways to do this, right?
Yes, that's true.
We don't want to make the player feel very confusing, to be honest, because some promotion are totally changed the position of this hero. Just like Fanch mentioned. So as you can see, the first promotion is basically related to his basic skills. But as you can see, the 2nd or the 3rd promotion is totally different race. You can use a different strategy to win the game. So if we believe that if we launch all the 3 promotion to the player simultaneously, maybe the player will get confused how to use this hero very well. So we try to protect our player and make this experience smoothly.
Yeah, and one example is that I've been making Clash Mini and playing Clash Mini for the last 5 years, so I should be the guy who know the game the most, right? I was playing my account, I got so confused, like why this Barbarian King is so strong? He deals like 9 damage per attack. Like I've never seen that. What's happening? I almost reported Donghao as a bug. I was like, what's going on? And then next day, Donghao told me, hey, it's the third upgrade. You don't know that? I was like, I don't know. Like I spent my life making this game. When I see that, I was like, what's going on? It's a bug. So imagine for a new player coming to the game with all the knowledge they need to learn, and when they see this, they will get so confused.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. I like having all of the different upgrades, and honestly, like having the hero upgrades behind certain collector levels, is, and I don't think it's that bad. I think the explanation you gave makes perfect sense for it. It probably is frustrating for people, like if you just unlock World Champion and then you play against World Champion and someone's using their boast ability, which is the third upgrade, and then you're like, oh, I want to do that, but then you can't because you're not high enough collector level yet. I think that's like that specific scenario is like where the instance of like, oh, now this feels like pay to win because now I can't get to collector level, I think it's like 60 or something. I can't get to collector level 60 yet, even though I unlocked World Champion at like collector level 37. So I think that's probably where the perception comes in of it seeing like a pay to win style, and like, oh, you didn't actually limit power progression to free to play players because now you need to theoretically spend more to be able to get it, but in reality it just takes more time to get it.
Yeah, we were aware of this because we know that we have a lot of veteran players, and we also have new players. We know that this will make some new players or even veteran players who's in the middle feel very frustrated. But we need to basically try to always think about like what's most important thing for the game is to make the game better, and that decision may result in some current players feel a little bit uncomfortable for short term, but the game being better is better for everyone's long-term experience. So we have to take the hit to get the long-term good game.
Yeah, and also I must agree that some promotion are not balanced enough because this is also the first one we make such kind of system. So for the next content update, maybe you will see I change a lot for the hero promotion. I try to make all three promotion becomes balanced. So you guys will don't feel about, oh, only the third promotion can use, other are garbage. So we try to balance this all because also we should receive a lot of feedback from you guys. So we will try to make it better in the next time.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, that was my suggestion, is just make them all good and make them situational, because like one of the things that I said in this example was like, if I'm playing Barbarian King and my opponent has Valkyrie and Wizard, there's a good chance that, like, they both have anti-heal upgrades. So it's like, well, maybe I'll go for Barb King's second ability because that doesn't heal. So I'd rather have an upgrade that basically negates and makes them waste elixir in terms of trying to counter me. So now I don't need it because I'm not healing anymore. One of the next things that we had was the emote topic. So emotes kind of got removed from the game. Is there any chance that they would come back and let players kind of be able to express themselves on the battle board other than just text emotes?
Okay, let me explain the reason why we remove the manually sent emotes. So what we observe from the data of the previous versions, only a small group of players are really using the emotes, and only a smaller group are using them in every match. So we think it's only used in a small group. But we think emotes is a really good kind of cosmetic in the game. So we want to give it a more frequent show of time. So that's why we create the auto send emotes. And but if we are we planning to bring the manually sent emotes back, I think that's worth discussion, and we are thinking about it.
Yes,
What
please.
But
I do
like,
have a
like
question.
yeah.
I do have a question. Why did you decide to remove animated emotes entirely instead of having them be the new player emotes? Like, you could keep the normal emotes to minis like we have right now, but there was no reason behind removing the animated emotes. You could have just kept them alongside the text emote as a player emote.
Yeah, I think that's one option, but why we didn't do that? I think we don't want the two kinds of emotes system exist in the same update. Then we don't know how both of them behaves. So we choose to only implement one of them in the update 8 and see how 8 works, and also consider about if we should bring the another one back to the game.
Going back to the gameplay side of it, this was brought up from a couple people, more so at the higher level, but tiles in the game right now. I think we've had like the same 3 or 4 tiles in the past like week since the update dropped. Is there any consideration to throw tiles into like event mode and take them off ladder, or introduce a more competitive ladder system where there's no tiles at all, and it just comes down to pure skill? Because now the game has like classes, it has hero upgrades, so there's a lot more depth to the game itself. And right now it just feels like some of the tiles are more imbalanced than they were before, and really like helps certain specific strategies like really shine. So is there any consideration to change the tile system or just remove tiles entirely?
Yeah, and also, why did you remove the ability to see the tile tomorrow? That's also weird as well.
Yes. I know some tile is not really balanced, as you mentioned, but we want to keep the tile to right now is want to make the player feel fresh every day. And also, you want to player have a different strategies when they face different tile. So if we remove all the tiles right now, maybe the strategy will be very fixed, and the people will get bored after play these strategies several rounds. So we keep the tile and make the people feel fresh every day. This is our first perspective. But right now, I know some core player complain that tile may be have a strong impact for their strategy. Maybe it's negative, like the Devo trade, right? I saw lots of player complain the Devo trades because some units are super good for the Devo trades. I think today is a balance. I think because some units actually very good for it, and then will destroy all the strategy. So we want to try to fix the Devo trade such kind of unbalanced tile to make the strategy still can go on. So this is what I think right now.
Also, when we first designed the tile system, we know that it definitely add the element of randomness, because you don't know where it's spawning, right? But is random? It's how to say this? Is the ability to manage randomness a skill or not? It's really hard to debate. It almost goes to the philosophical level, right? Like, is mastering randomness a skill? It's hard to say, but personally, I think it is. For example, let's say we remove tile entirely, then the game becomes all about like the positioning, know how to play the game. But then when we have some randomness, then the best of the best players, they can use this to counter the enemy, or wait for the enemy to make mistakes, then punish them, or change the deck in a way that can get a lot of trophies today because of something. Or this person will say, hey, because of this tile, a lot of people will play this, so I'm going to counter and catch those guys who play this to get my trophy. So I think that's some kind of level of like gameplay or mind game outside of a game that we believe it might be interesting, or it might be very frustrating. It's really hard to see. We are looking at the data, and we are also experiencing the game ourselves. We also have people who is like, the top 100, top 30. We have our team. Some of our teammates are top 30. They are also giving us feedback about how they think. So if it becomes really, really bad, we're definitely going to change it. We'll make it better. So far, we think it is doing more benefits than harmful. So, but let's keep watching. Yeah.
And what we observed from the update 7 data analysis, players are really changing adjusting their decks every day to fit into the everyday tiles. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
maybe in the future.
I was gonna say I have another question, but if Donghang, what's your input on tiles before we move to the next question?
What?
Yeah, what were you trying to say? What were you trying to say?
I think some players may get tired of the tiles right now and want to use mechanics. Maybe in the future we will remove all the tiles in this system and add a new randomness or new mechanics for these gameplays. We will do that in the future. But currently we think the tile is very good right now. And another question you mentioned that why we move the next day tile? Yeah, because we figure out the next day tile is a bit confusing for some player. They don't know which tiles right now because not too many people will see all the details at the same time. They will figure out, they have a different tiles right now. So we want to make the information more clearly compare the previous ones. So this is the reason we move the next day tile.
Okay. So I was gonna ask about the Clashmas skins. So the Clashmas toy machine is not available for some players, specifically because they did not get all the Silver Echo skins, which I find to be an interestingly odd choice. Was that a mistake, like a coding mistake, or is it intended that the players need to get all the tutorial skins before seeing event skins?
Yeah, that's what we intended. We want players to first get all of the skins from the starter pools. And I don't know if everyone really know that the probability to get a skin from the starter pool is higher than other pools. So we want players to first spend all of their silver keys into a more efficient way to get a new skin. So that's we set a requirement that the Clashmas pools will be unlocked after the starter pools, because we think the starter pool is the most efficient way that everyone put their valuable silver keys in. I mean, especially for the new players. So that's our intention here.
The unfortunate thing is also that the timing of the new update plus Clashmas didn't kind of work out too well, because you can imagine a scenario where Clashmas would come out 6 months after update 8, and then majority of the people have already used up all their silver keys on the welcome pack because they have nowhere else to go, and they were like, well, I need an event. I probably need a bunch of more stuff to do stuff into. And it's like, the unfortunate thing was that there was just a timing of a new update, and then a week later there's Clashmas coming out, and then there's like the whole coding and the flow of like you have to go through the welcome skins because you are a new player and you need to understand how Toy Machine works and get your skins there, and then move on to the main stuff and the rest of the game. Just didn't work out for new players from that side of things, and we've learned from it. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it right now. But I think there's plenty of silver keys to go around in the game every day. So
also we have to think about from the new player experience. The new players needs to have skins for their diorama and the passive income to work. So we have to make sure that the new players are not making mistakes and get less skins, then their whole progression is way slow because they made some bad choices. So to secure new play experience, we have to make sure that they get use the most efficient way to get skins so that everything can start rolling, and then they go into some other options. So that's the main reason for that. That's why it's odd. I also feel it's odd, but I think to protect new players, that's the only option we have.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to an extent. Yeah.
It does. It does.
So kind of a question for you guys on outside of like the backlash from the update around like the toy machine and everything. Based on what you guys have seen so far, do you consider the update a success?
Yeah, we saw players are more engaged in the game, both the veteran players and the new players. From the engagement and what else?
so I think it's hard to so we need to first define success first, right? What is success means differently for different people. So I think personally, I think it is because some numbers are improving, some numbers are dropping. And I think it's healthy drop because I don't think some numbers are actually good to increase. For example, just to be very frank and transparent, our first day retention, D1 retention, basically means how many people stayed in day 2 after they play in day 1, has dropped significantly to a point it triggered our red alert. Like basically it triggered alarm in the team that this kind of drop is dangerous, right? But personally, I think it's healthy. Why? Like less people are staying day 1 because the game becomes more unique and extreme. Previously, our day 1 retention is so high to a point it just like outperformed any other Superstar game. It's crazy, but that's not good. That means that the game is like a vanilla ice cream. Everyone can enjoy, but no one stayed long. So basically, everyone like it, but do not love it, right? But now after we change it, less people love it, but less people like it, but more people love it. We prefer we become unique. Unique is more important than, normal for us. Yeah, mediocre. We rather make some people really like the game, some people really hate the game. Instead of like everyone like, yeah, this game is okay, I can play for 3 days, then that's it. So that's where we are going. So the game is more extreme. People who like it more, and that's why I think it's good. But if we just look at purely from the metrics, yeah, some metrics are not as good. It's actually a little bit scary, but we think it's okay. Yeah, that's how I feel though.
Yeah, I also agree. From the gameplay and also the game experience, I found a lot of fun from this current design right now, especially the battle. So I engage for this game a lot right now. So and also we can see the data, the people play this game more and more minutes, and we can see our DAU is very stable.
Yeah.
Such kind of metrics can prove this update is really good, just for my perspective.
Yeah, that's also a very interesting thing you see in game development teams. It's very interesting. I've been in the industry for like more than a decade, so I see this all the time. Game developers do not play their games mostly because they work on this game every day. They see this every day. They see everything. They know everything. For example, Donghang, he's been playing all these minis for like years. So for him, like, what's the point of playing another game of this? He's so used to this, right? Shuai has all the minis on his development account. Me too. Like, we don't have incentives. So that's not just for us. For almost every game teams, playing their own game is a hard thing to do because they are too familiar. They see this game every day. They are almost like tired of seeing these games because it's part of their job. But when you see a team is actively playing their own game, especially on live, that means something magic is happening. And in update 8, that's what I see. I think 90% of our teammates are actively playing our game and comparing our trophies and challenging each other every day. That's a great sign, and we've never seen that in any other previous updates. So we think it's probably a good update.
Good side, yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good to hear as well. Going back kind of towards the balancing part of the game, hero upgrades in game. We talked about that, but kind of talking about the heroes in the shop cycle. Right now, it could be pretty random at times because you can just get it whenever. It just happens to whoever gets lucky. For example, like the World Champion Boast. Like if somebody gets World Champion Boast on round 1, and then you don't happen to get it in your shop until round 3, your opponent might already be 4 or 5 stacks up because you just haven't gotten the Royal Champion yet. Would there be any consideration to have it set so that heroes don't appear in the normal shop cycle and that they kind of have their own tab where you can just either upgrade it whenever, or are there plans to put it like unlockable at like set 3 or round 3, and that way both players starting from round 3 can choose to upgrade their hero? What do you feel about that so far and how it's playing out, and do you have any plans to change that in the future?
I remember me and a fan debate this a lot before we launching these new mechanics. Yes, as you mentioned, the first time I think maybe in the first round, both sides can pick the hero upgrades promotions for once. This is based on rounds, not in the mini pool. And the fans think maybe in the mini pool is better. And finally, we draw the same conclusion. We also believe that in the pool is better right now. Maybe fans can elaborate more.
Yeah, so that's why I love this question, because I even till today I don't know if we made a good choice. Maybe we should have chose Donghan's version of like having turn 3, just everyone start to pick, right? That's one of the choices. The reason we didn't do that, or there's several reasons. One is that the current implementation is just slightly easier, because we don't need a new UI to do that. Just so why it is that, because like we only have one UI artist, and she has been overworking for the last 6 months. She gets to the office 10 a.m., leaves the office 10 p.m. for 6 months. Just because the massive amount of like UI, the whole system change, like anything if we want to ask her to add one more thing, we need to make sure that this thing is really, really important. It's greatly improving the player experience. Otherwise, we should not ask her to do it, because she's way overloaded. So when we were debating like which one is better, it's really hard. That one might be better, but maybe for slightly, right? But the current one is easier. That's the first reason, right? Just like just manpower. It's a reality we were facing. And the second is that I think how to say this feeling, like Clash Mini is a game that has a lot of randomness to it, and then suddenly we have a very fixed phase that you then choose something. It just feels a little bit, how you say it, like breaking the flow. I think like because if it's like a rumble, right? Every turn you draw something, then the flow feels okay. Or it's like a duel. You have everything, just play your minis, then that feels also like very smooth. But inject a phase in the middle to just do one thing, then go back to the other kind of gameplay pacing. It just feels a little bit interruptive. So that's why in the end I was like, maybe we should make the experience a little more streamlined. Feels like something players already learned. Do not introduce a new phase that feels easier. So that's why I think that may be better. The last thing is like recently I've been playing a lot myself, and I think it is, if we look at the competitive thing for the really, really good players, like the 4,000 players, right, getting it getting the promotion card at the right time versus not getting it can be huge difference. So I realized that it could be a problem, and I personally don't think I have a great way to solve it. But we are discussing about this actively to see how should we make it better. Maybe we can implement some fixed rules. For example, the hero promotion card is by default on the first draw you have, so that we do not change the UI or the system, or the hero promotion card has a higher chance to drop in your shop. That can also fix the problem. So there are different ways we can explore. Yeah, but I admit that the current experience is not the best.
Yeah, I can also give lots of reasons after discussions with fans. And why I give up the third round to pick one promotion. The reason is they will make our games very boring in the first 2 rounds. People will tend to see how to I get the promotion in the 3rd round, and then they do nothing in the 1st round and the 2nd round. They will make this game very boring in the first 2 rounds. And secondly, because you don't know why, because you pick the promotion at the same time, so you don't know your opponent which one you pick. So in the finally, you and your opponent just gambling. You cannot make a new strategy to counter your opponent because you don't know what they pick right now. But if we in current situation, we know what they pick right now, and I can see how to counter this heroes with this hero promotion. Just for example, like Barbarian pick the first one, and I can see the anti-healing right now because as soon as I play the contest right now, so I can pick the anti-healing. But if both of us pick simultaneously, we just gambling. So this feeling is not good as well. So this is the important reason we give up this solution. We don't think it can solve the problems. And also, as you mentioned, like the Royal Champion, the 3rd upgrade is too powerful. Yes, we can limit it because we can say that the Royal Champion can only stay for 6. And also, Royal Champion, another promotion can counter this promotion as well. Like you upgrade the promotion 3, and I upgrade the promotion 1. But the promotion 1 have a more powerful than the current version and can stun the opponent Royal Champions for a long time. This is also a new solution. So we currently we see how it goes right now, and also we will find a good way to solve in the problem in the future.
That's awesome. It's great to hear.
Yeah, I want to ask about the grand prize in the toy machine. So, I mean, some toy machines have multiple grand prizes, like let's say the Sailor and the Dark Prince. Why did you choose to not let the player choose what grand prize he picks when he hit the petty rate? Like, because if I get 80 gold key and get Sailor, for example, and I want Dark Prince, it would be like a very big disappointment for me.
Okay, the original thought behind this is we don't want players to get all of the units by a fixed order. I think if we give the options and every player will watch the videos of like creators, and everyone will figure out a fixed order to get all of the units, and it will be boring of the path of the progression. So we want everyone to experience in different order, and everyone is experiencing with the different unit pools. So everyone can build their own decks with what their units. So I think it's a more healthy way for diversity of player experience. So that's also why we let players get the units in a random order in the collector level reward. So we don't want the order to be fixed.
What about
There is
If
also
there's no fixed order,
I was gonna say, what about skins? Those are purely cosmetics. You could let people pick skins, at least.
Yeah. Okay. Regarding the cosmetics, I think we want players to have some randomness of what cosmetics they will get, and based on that, I think there will be a healthy case that you get a skin of several units, and you will take more look at those units. Maybe you haven't tried that unit before, but you are lucky enough to get a cosmetic, skin of that unit. Then you will probably choose to use that unit because you have a fancy look of that unit. So that's why we also don't want the order to get skins to be fixed. But we don't we also don't want a player to randomly get one skin from all of the group of skins. So that's why we built the different pools. I mean, like Clashmas skin pools. So the randomness happens among the 6 skins, not all of the skins.
But one thing to remember is like that here we're not talking about pure randomness. We're talking about like progressively decreasing randomness. So basically, as you go through the pools, and especially with like the normal standard minis, you will eventually get all of them no matter what. You're just closing the gap of like how many things you have in the game, which means that like yeah, like there is some randomness to it, but that's the part of the journey that's exciting and creating this unique path of each player. Because otherwise, then you would have those stories where you're like talking to your friend, oh, what did you get first, right? Like, what did you get second? There is not that much. If everything is like locked on a single road and there is no any like surprise on the way, what is the point of the road, right? Like to me, sprinkling a little bit of like just excitement here and there is the joy and part of the journey. But
Yeah. You mentioned having not having a fixed cycle in terms of being able to unlock units, like when Abdod said he wanted either Sailor or Dark Prince. But right now, the current system, you have to unlock Hog Rider before you can get the Champion Decoy Adept. Then you have to unlock Champion Decoy Adept before you get to Dark Prince and Sailor. Is there any consideration to just put all of the special units into one machine and then also throw some skins in there so that way people can kind of try to get things as they progressively get towards unlocking the special units? So it feels more exciting to a player other than like, I have a 0.1% chance to get Hog Rider in 80 gold keys and I can't get any other special unit or any other skins. I'm just getting resources from it. Including everything kind of makes it more exciting for players.
Regarding why we set an order of the different special unit pools, I think it's similar to why we create the sets in the unit collection page. We don't want players to get a random unit from all of the 60 units. So we divide all of the units into different sets. So new players can choose a random unit from the first set and then the second set and the third set because the difficulty to use those units are different. The set one units are extremely easy to use, but imagine the set 6 units that it's very hard to manage them. So we set an order for the different sets. So that's why we also set an order for the special units. We think players need to get Hog Rider first because it's the easiest of all of the special units. Then you get the other stuff one by one. So the answer is so that's why we create order both for the special units, toy motion pools, and also the different sets in the unit collection page.
Yes.
Just like sorry for bringing the topic back. Though I do sorry, I was trying to answer the Abdul's question about the choosing a skin from the toy machine and do not make it random. Now even though I think Shuai and the Frame mentioned about it, I've never thought about that idea, to be honest. Even though you guys thought about it, but I never thought about it. Even though you guys explained, but I think maybe it is a idea we can try because now when I think about it, like yes, minis we want players' experience to be different, but like for skins it's cosmetic. Maybe I just want that clothes, right? For example, I go to a shop to buy shoes. I just want that color. Like you give me a different color, then my experience, maybe you should just give me the one thing I want. So yeah, but I just personally never thought about that.
I was trying to explain why we implement like this in the update 8, but we are also reading lots of feedback from players.
Yeah, this is a great feedback. Maybe
reconsider about all of them.
Yeah. At least I think we should maybe talk to the artists to see about this and to see how they feel about it, because this is the idea I never thought about. To be honest, I was like, I never thought about it. Why we haven't thought about it? So Yeah. Maybe we should think about it. Yeah, because it kind of makes sense. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think it would also be worth considering, like having, like I know you mentioned having the because each SP unit is theoretically placed in a different set. It unlocks as people get further down the progression line, because theoretically the units that are in later sets are more complex than units that are in earlier sets. I think what it would come down to is maybe there could be some consideration to just having one toy machine for the special units, and then once a player gets to that collector level, the whatever units are with that set. So if I get to set 4, Decoy Adept and Chompy are now put into the special unit toy machine banner, and then so it's just automatically thrown in. And there's still if you haven't unlocked Hog Rider yet, now there's a chance that you could also get Decoy Adept and Chompy. And I think that's going to be a better way to do it, because I got very lucky on my free-to-play account and I got Hog Rider before I actually advanced set 4. But it would have been nice to be able to, if I didn't have Hog Rider yet and I unlocked set 4, if I didn't have to potentially go all the way to the pity 80 gold keys, and now I find out I have to reroll 80 more for Chompy and Decoy Adept when they could all be thrown in the same system. And if I'm on 20 pity keys left, then now within those 20, I could either get Hog Rider, Decoy Adept, or Chompy. And be able to continue that pursuit. Even if I wanted Hog Rider, at least I'm still getting a new unit that maybe I didn't know that I wanted before because I hadn't seen it yet. And then if I unlock it, I'm like, oh wow, this unit is actually really cool. I'm really glad I got this. But then you still obviously go back to the system and try to get the unit that you wanted to pull in the first place. So I think that would be worth considering to throw into a toy machine banner, as well as just kind of combining all of the special units in one. So that way, even for veteran players who might not have been lucky to that point or want to save their gold keys for whatever reason, there's still a chance that they get something. So then that way it's not a fixed order, but it's still that randomness that you're mentioning.
Yeah. I also saw a lot of people asking about why I can't see Chompy and Decoy Adept in my toy machine page. So I think your suggestion is really great.
Yeah,
That
good
it
feedback.
will make it simple for everyone to understand the rules. I mean the order of the special units and when I can get from this pool and worth
Yeah.
considering. Yeah.
Good feedback.
Awesome. Let's see. More simple question, I guess.
Sorry. Yeah, I think the most feedback I saw from the community is about the toy machine system, and FullFrontage just mentioned one of them and his suggestion. But yeah, we know. Believe me, I have read all of the feedbacks, and there are really a lot to improve. And also, we have so many options to solve different problems.
Yeah. And since we're back on the topic of toy machine, I actually want to Spoob. I heard this idea from Spoob. Putting trial cards for minis in the Silver Key toy machine. Because right now, obviously, outside of the Clashmas event, if people don't have the Clashmas skins, they have use for silver keys right now. They want to try to get the Clashmas skins. But if there's no event happening, then silver keys essentially are quote unquote useless to an extent. I disagree, but a lot of the community says otherwise. I personally use silver keys for resources and stuff because I want to upgrade my collector level. But Spoob had suggested possibly in silver keys to throw trial cards in for some of the special units, so that you get a trial. You have that specific SP unit. You can activate it whenever you want. You activate it, and then you can trial that new mini, so you can see if I really want this mini. I want as many gold keys as I can possibly get, and now try to go for it in the gold machine. Would there be any consideration to adding trial cards, or just more in general, adding more use for silver keys?
I think we never talk about trial cards before I watched the Smooth videos. So yeah, it's a new option coming to us. Also, we can imagine about trial skins, trial boards. Yeah, but it needs.
I think
we need to spend more time.
I think it is a very cool idea.
Yeah.
I think I thought about it, but I just realized that it probably takes a lot of
Yeah.
development effort because this system is technically pretty hard to manage because it almost touches like this kind of idea of inventory management. For example, I have 5 different trial cards, and then where do I find them? How long do they last? When can I use it? Stuff like that. Can I trade in clans? Stuff like that. So it's almost like an inventory system. So I think eventually we'll probably need to make it the experience richer by having more system like this. But I think we need. It's a big system. It's bigger than. The idea is simple, but to make it good, it's a lot of effort, and we probably don't have time this time. But I think it's a great idea. It definitely needs more discussion and maybe future idea. Yeah. It's
practically
good.
we count that even if we want to add that in update it, but yeah, it's a good option added to our future plans. Yeah.
Awesome.
I wanted to say, I was gonna say my opinion on trial cards. I personally don't really like this idea because I play some games that have trial cards, and every time I win a trial card, it seems like it kind of feels insulting a little bit because I got something that I can use for one day and it's back being locked again. Or if I unlock it later after the trial card I got it, it's kind of basically useless. And it doesn't really add much progression to the account. So that's kind of just what I want to point out, because like the devs of those games always give only trial cards for free.
Fair point.
Yeah. That's why we always need a lot of time to think about every option, because there will always be controversies about one idea.
Yeah.
But a great suggestion. Yeah.
One other question related to Toy Machine that I have, and this idea came from Daniel, was increasing the percentage chance of when you throw a key into the gatcha, into the Toy Machine, and you don't get that special reward, the percentage to get that reward increases within the next key. Doesn't have to be like an insane amount, but obviously like small things. So where it's like kind of like how in Brawl Stars when they had boxes in the game, every time you open a box, the chance to get a new brawler increased slightly, and then once you unlocked it, it went back to its normal state. I know we currently have like the pity system in place for certain machines, but would there be consideration to also add a percentage increase, even so slightly, on top of that to potentially help the player not get to that pity every single time?
I think that idea is a candidate of the solutions. We are working on. Now we are trying to looking for more options to solve of all of the problems we observed. And I know Daniel's suggestion. I think it's a good idea. So it's currently one of the candidates of the solution. Maybe one worry about it. Maybe I am worrying about if players can easily understand that increasing probability rule. So yes, so that's why it's not the winner right now, but it's still a good candidate.
Awesome. And then I guess one question, because I know we're running short on time, but I think this is probably the most anticipated question from the community. What, if you can share, what do you have planned for the Toy Machine, and would we expect to see any changes soon?
I think practically not. We will need a total update to fix it, and we don't want to just make a small fix. We want to try to make it in a perfect way that we can make the best design, of course better design than right now, but we want to achieve the best case in the next change. So we don't want to rush to make an update or make a patch to fix one single problem, because it always brings new problems. We want to spend some time to considering about all of the problems, all of the feedbacks, and all of the options we have, and find out the best solution.
Yeah.
Is there
we,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there a concern from the team that if you, I mean, like theoretically, this was a do or die update. So is there a concern that this update won't perform to the expectations if people end up just getting tired of the toy machine and then just end up quitting the game? Is that going to hurt numbers to potentially help pushing the game towards global? Because obviously, like if there's no global, then there's probably no new update to potentially fix this problem.
I think we are doing everything we can to go global. So if we are doing something and we are keep doing something, it probably means that it is helping us instead of hurting us. So one moment we find that the current system is not helping us, we have to change it because it's all about going global. So far, I don't think we can conclude that changing it is better for global. We cannot conclude that. But once we conclude that, we have to change. So that's why Shuai is mentioned that so far we don't have plan because we spent 6 months making it. We probably need to spend at least 1 month or 2 months, see what's going on, learn, and see how to change it, right? But I do think Shuai mentioned something. I don't know if you guys catch it. Shuai mentioned that there are more keys coming. I guess that's what you mentioned. Right?
Yeah.
So the short answer is no to change the system,
Yeah.
but yes, more keys. How about that?
Awesome.
And I think going is our most important goal.
Yes.
And we think the best way to going global is just to create the best game as possible as we can. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like, please make more videos. Please let us know how you feel about everything. I can vouch for all these 3 men here that every lunch they're looking at some new creator video on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're looking at the Discord feedback. They're looking at Reddit feedback. At least half of the team is browsing Reddit like on a daily basis. So we're linking the memes, we're linking the water fail renders, we're linking everything that we see. Like this is not something that like we are turning a blind eye on. So the more you talk, the more we listen. And the fact that we are not like replying to every single person doesn't mean that we stopped listening. It's really hard to kind of dedicate time to kind of write back things. I mean, Fan kind of sneaks in sometimes into like humans and drops like a sneaky little reply. That sometimes happens because it's convenient for him to do so. But like, I am majority like communicator on the team, so I'll try my best to also like project some of the thinking. But again, also super creators have an easier access to talking to us because we're in the same space, and we will continue listening and talking to all the creators, including, you know, from OJ to literally everybody else in this creator program. So if you have an opinion, drop us a line. You can talk to us directly, or you can talk to your creator, and the creator can represent you, no problem. So there are many channels that you can talk to us. And again, if you mention me on Twitter or on Threads or wherever, I will see it. And so thank you so much for listening. Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still reading the chat a little bit, and some people are still unsatisfied with the toy machine. But I've said my piece about it. And the only thing that I had said was more keys could be a potential solution to the problem, and sounds like we're getting more keys. I think the Clashmas challenge was a great start into getting more into the system. And one final question, if you guys don't mind. A lot of people talked about content creators spending lots of money and not really getting anything. Talking about like the guarantee for people who spend the money, having it just solely be luck based and not really guaranteed anything. Is there a potential solution for people like, I mean, whales accumulate to a very small portion of the player base, like probably less than 0.1% of the player base. But for people who spend a lot of money, it does feel extremely discouraging to not get anything. Is there a potential solution for that part of it? Because for a casual player to see a content creator spending that much and not really getting anything, that doesn't really encourage the player to want to monetarily support the game.
I think it's not only about monetization. I think the problem you mentioned is the same as the negative experience the casual players has. Actually, the whales you mentioned, they spend money to buy keys, and they spend keys to try to get items from the toy machine. The experience actually is the same with casual players accumulate some free keys and try to use them in the toy machine. So the problem is the same. It's all about the experience of from the step you spend keys to the step you eventually get the items. So that the problem is same.
Yeah. So it's really hard to reply this question with a satisfying answer, because this is already set in a really sad situation. Someone spent time and money and not get the things they want. I think for the skins in the game, they cost keys, and the players get keys over the time. So for no matter it's a skin or it's a unit, we were expecting people spend time playing the game to get them. Like we said in the beginning, we need to set long-term goals so that people play long-term, so we get better retention. That's the key to go global. So we still need things to. So some players like minis, some players like skins. We need to satisfy both players so that they have long-term goals. So skins are there to set long-term goals, and some players spend time to wanting to skip that time, and but our design was not, we were not expecting everyone to get the best content in day one. That's not supposed to happen. But we wish players just play the game longer, just keep playing, keep giving us feedback, and eventually the things they want will have a better chance to get things after they play. So like skipping the time is not something we wish every player to do. That's not the design intent, so don't do that. So that's the feeling I want to say. So we rather players just keep playing the game and get the things, all the content eventually. That's the best situation for us, to be honest. We do not want somebody to drop everything and get things. For example, OJ spent a lot of money to get all things. That's not the thing we want to see. I was really sad to see that. I do not want him to do that. I rather him play our game more. But he does not have the time. He has more money, so he chose to do that. We just need to make sure that players who want to do that have that option. But I prefer them playing the game more. Yeah. Sorry. One more thing though, as Vlad mentioned, also the channel, I see people still not satisfied with the toy machine and everything. This is not the only thing that we make mistakes. Sometimes we may make more mistakes in the future. It could be good, could be bad. But the most important thing is that no matter how much you don't like this, just keep sharing the feedback with us. Like I do not get sad if people think I made a stupid mistake. I become very sad if players stop giving us feedback, because that I will not hear from players that I will not be able to improve. But even if you say, fan, this is stupid, this is the worst design, I hate you, you're stupid, that's way better than not telling us anything. So please keep sharing us feedback, even though you do not think you may think we are not happy to see those harsh feedback. No, actually, we are very happy to see harsh feedback. It's hard to swallow in the beginning, but it's healthy to make the game better in the long run. And if it's indeed really bad for the game, we will change that. So please keep giving us feedback, no matter how harsh it is.
Yeah. Please share any feedback in the community.
Yes.
Actually, I am monitoring all of the message and comments on like Reddit and some of the channel of Discord and Twitter. So yeah, if you leave any message, we will see it.
know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or comments in the creators videos, and
Yeah. And
we'll
I mean,
eventually notice that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't mean to sound like disrespectful, but when you said you don't want to see people like spending all that money, why put the option in the first place?
Because some people do not have time. They want to skip. They have busy work to do. They have a lot of other things to do. They do not have that much of their life to spend on a game. So we need to offer an option for them.
Would it be better to implement like price for like guaranteed something? Like if somebody wanted to buy like the reanimated Skeleton King skin, like if the conversion of epic keys is like, I'm just making this up, I don't know off the top of my head, like $200 for the guaranteed 140. What if you just put the Skeleton King in the shop for whatever price point you guys see fair for a skin like that?
I think one basic idea of Update 8 is we don't want to set different ways to get anything in the game for players and free-to-play players. So everything will be got in the same way, but of course you can pay money to speed up to get more, but the way it should be the same. So free players get things from Time Machines and players also in the same way. So we don't want to like only satisfy players. That's not what we intended.
Would there be any consideration to add in more free-to-play gems, since you can buy epic like keys with gems? Would there be more consideration to add gems for players to potentially continuously work up, so that way they can kind of skip that time without having to spend extra money on top of it just to be able to get extra sources of keys?
This goes back to the long-term goals. No matter what we do, we need to make sure that players have long-term incentives or goals to achieve. So even we give free gems, but after the free gem, we still need to make sure that players have something they need to spend time and have a long-term goals. Because if we don't have long-term goals, players will drop and then nothing matters. So even we give free keys, the result is the same. And I think giving free keys is not as good as just giving tickets, because giving tickets, players just have a fixed way to use them. It's much easier for us to control the economy. But if we give gems, it's really hard to know where players spend. They may spend in progression, they may spend skins, but if they mistakenly spend on skins, then their progression will be slower. Then that's really bad for us. So I think it's better to just make sure that we give the if players need more content or need more things, we just give the things directly. That's much easier for us to manage the whole speed of the game.
Makes sense. And one final question, I promise. There are limited stickers on some of the Toy Machine banners. Are those like actually limited to 2023, or are they coming back in the future?
I think that's one of our mistakes. So it's just like some visual decoration. So it means nothing. So no need to worry about it. It doesn't mean it's 2023 limited.
Okay, because I wasn't.
Reference.
Yeah, I'm not in the financial spot to drop a stack on the SK skin, so I just wanted to know if it was coming back.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for asking all the questions. We look forward to everybody also listening to the VOD that have missed the live chat. Thank you for all 100 of you joining. That was awesome. Again, tweet at me, yell at me, please. Yell at Fan, yell at us, whatever. And let's continue chatting. And yeah, thank you all for joining, and I will see you soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.